This couple built a shelter in their home to escape nuclear war. They built a shelter in their home. Just as they walked in, a plane crashes into their home. The tremendous shock. Jack thought there was a nuclear war going on, so he hurriedly closed the 10-ton iron door. And then the safety device was activated. It wouldn't open automatically until 30 years later. This was a disaster. The couple had to stay here. The wife was pregnant. Luckily, there's everything here, enough for them to live in for 30 years. Even the decor is exactly the same as at home. They've even built a fish pond and a few small fish to keep the boredom away. It wasn't long before a little boy was born. They named him Tom. The arrival of Tom added a lot of color to their boring life. Watching television, growing vegetables. After all, they thought it was the end of the world, and there's no war on the ground. The officials, because they couldn't find them, so they bulldozed their house with a forklift to build a cold drink shop. When they were bored, they shopped at their family supermarket. As time went on, Tom grew up. Mom taught him to dance. Dad taught him to read and write, to learn all kinds of skills. 30 years passed. Tom has grown into a handsome young man. His birthday wish was to meet the girl of his choice. But in this basement, it was impossible to meet anyone else. At night, the only company he had was his right-hand man. Finally, one day the time came. The door unlocked itself. This excited the family. Dad was afraid of the danger up there. He decided to go up and see for himself. The ground suddenly cracks open. With smoke, the man slowly rose up. The homeless man peed in fear, thought he had seen a zombie. He passed out on the spot. Jack was a little embarrassed, grabbed his torch and walked out. 30 years later, his home is no longer there. It's now a shitty bar. The world looks like a dump at this point. The men on the side of the road are dressed like men and women. There were even people eating rubbish. Jack was terrified. He rushed back into the shelter. He thought the world was too horrible, and told the two of them that the outside was contaminated. You must not go outside. His wife was instantly displeased. She'd been looking forward to it for 30 years and had had enough of it. During the argument, Jack had a heart attack. The family had run out of supplies. It was up to Tom to get the supplies. Tom packed his bags and set off. Soon he was out in the world. Tom was amazed. The world was so big. Then he went to the supermarket. After choosing his supplies, he realized he didn't have enough money to buy anything. So he tried to sell his dad's long-held baseball cards. The owner looked surprised. Then he calmly said, "I'll give you $500 for these cards." The simple Tom was very happy. That's when a girl interrupted the deal. It turned out the boss was lying to him. Jenny picked up the card and told Tom, "Now this one card is worth $6,000. Tom was touched by Jenny's honesty, so he took out a baseball card as a thank you gift. But the next day Jenny returned the card, and Tom didn't want to give up on this beautiful girl. The boy wants to hire Jenny to sell the cards for him, so that he wouldn't get ripped off. Looking at this big, goofy boy, Jenny agreed. They used the money from the baseball cards to purchase 2 large carts of supplies. Jenny was very confused as to why he was buying all this stuff. After a few days together, the two of them quickly warmed up to each other. Tom told them about his own experiences growing up. Jenny was amazed by what she heard. After that, Tom sincerely invited Jenny to come back to the refuge with him. Jenny thought Tom was crazy, so she called a psychiatrist. She suspected that Tom was schizophrenic. She wanted him to have a thorough examination, but Tom took the opportunity to escape. He finally made it home, and Jenny found a lot of baseball cards in the hotel. At today's market price, each one was worth $10 million, and she found that the household items Tom used were all made 30 years ago. Jenny then believed Tom's story. She regretted what she had done, so she searched the streets for Tom. It wasn't long before she managed to find him. The two of them hugged each other happily. This time Tom finally brought Jenny home. Her parents were very happy to see her. On that day, Tom exchanged all his shares for money and chose a beautiful piece of land in the wilderness. A new house was built there. When everything was ready, he brought his parents up from underground. He saw the world he hadn't seen in a long time. His mother was thrilled. Tom and his father told the truth. There was no war back then. It was a mistake on his father's part. The family ended up living happily ever after. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this on Recap Next.